Yeah, that's really how I'm feeling right now. Just to work on myself and things like that. Try to better myself as a person, as a dad.
Officially announced his retirement, right? He told the people around him that he is retiring from the sport of boxing. He is no longer going to compete in the sport of boxing due to his frustration with the way and the direction the sport of boxing is going in.
Whatever, I don't know. Maybe this could be the reason why Tank said he want to leave boxing. He gonna, tap out, stuff like that. He still hasn't fought Devin Haney, and that's not going to happen.
Gervonta Davis says he's quitting boxing because he's tired of being famous. He feels misunderstood and can't be himself. Boxing doesn't excite him anymore, so he's stepping away.
Yeah, that's really how I'm feeling right now. Just to work on myself and things like that. Try to better myself as a person, as a dad, all around, human being.
Yeah. Is it the fame? Is it something that you just don't like all the attention? Or
yeah, I'm starting to shy away from the attention and things like that come with it.
Yeah, because it's like anything you do or say, it's all over the blogs. It's taken the wrong way. It's getting posted.
Yeah.
Like you can't even be yourself at this point.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, it's getting more so lame type of thing.
Gervonta Davis's retirement is mainly due to frustration and pressure, especially from a legal case about his children's mother. The stress of this has made him distance himself from boxing.
So I'm sure by now many people have heard about the news that was broken by Rick Glazier, who stated that 5-time world champion, 3-division world champion, undefeated superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 28 wins by way of knockout. 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 28 wins by way of knockout, has officially announced his retirement, right? He told the people around him that he is retiring from the sport of boxing. He is no longer going to compete in the sport of boxing due to his frustration with the way and the direction the sport of boxing is going in.
Fans and experts are reacting strongly to Gervonta's sudden retirement. Many are surprised, but others understand the pressure he's faced. Some think he might just be using retirement talk as a trick to get a big fight with Jake Paul and avoid a rematch.
Gervonta Tank Davis retiring? No. Has he told people this? Yes. But this is nothing new. I told you the Lamont Roach Jr. fight was off. It was going to take place in June. He was not happy with the way things were playing out. He wanted to get to that Jake Paul bag with Netflix. That has nothing to do with Amazon. Jake Paul is in charge in that situation. Ain't gonna put that money in Tank Davis's pocket. I told you guys this. But you guys don't believe me. You always love to say I'm capping or hating on Tank Davis. No, just telling you what's going on behind the scenes. Gervonta Tank Davis is not going to retire. He's frustrated. He may step away from the sport of boxing for a while. But again, he was already planning to do that before the Lamont Roach Jr. draw.
Despite all the rumors, Gervonta Davis has officially said he's retiring from boxing. He's made it clear he's stepping away for now, even if others think it's temporary.
Tank Davis is retired? Superstar and legendary knockout artist Tank Davis has officially retired. Or so he claims. Tank Davis has had one of the hardest 18 months in boxing. See, first he just got out of prison. Then he had a fight with Lamont Roach that should have been a pushover, which afterwards he was going to negotiate a huge money fight with Jake Paul. But Lamont Roach had a great game plan and they ended up having a draw that Lamont Roach probably should have won. It was a controversial no knockdown call. But now Gervonta Davis is once again facing jail time after some domestic abuse charges. So I really think this is temporary. He's probably just retiring for now, especially with all the legal fees this man's gonna need. Part of this is probably to avoid the Lamont Roach rematch and push that off as he can. But really, most of this is probably so he can focus on his legal issues. And then after all that is wrapped up, he's gonna get back into boxing. Boxers do fake retirements. It's just what they do. Especially after disappointing fights and doing legal troubles. Tyson Fury's in the middle of a fake retirement right now. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think he's really retired for good? Let me know in the comments.
Gervonta Davis announced he's retiring after 2025, something he's talked about for over a year. He's tired of the sport's demands and personal problems, saying he doesn't even feel angry enough to fight anymore. Antonio Tarver is worried about him, pointing out that young fighters often struggle without good guidance.
To see you right here in New York City, man. Always showing up. All right, so Jay Martinez with Fight Hoop TV. So happy to see you once again. The biggest talk, let's jump into it. Obviously, we got a good weigh-in here in a moment.
Yes.
We got some good presser after this. The biggest talk that just happened moments ago, Gervonta Davis, jump into it. Kind of, I wouldn't say it's a big shock to a lot of us, but, there's this mindset, the fight with Lamont's not signed yet. Apparently, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Like, what's in and out of boxing right now?
Hey, man, I don't know, but, get these guys the bag so they can get the hell on if they not committed and dedicated to the sport. All they want is a bag. Give them a bag so they can go, bro. I mean, let these fighters that really want the shit, let's parade them. Let's get behind them. Let's support them. Let's build them. I'm not saying I don't know what happened. But I just hope and pray that young man get it together. He's at the top of his career, prime of his career. I would want him to be remembered more by the things that he's doing in the ring rather than out. But, sometimes you got to win in life too before you can get in that ring and win. And sometimes life is harder than any opponent that we could face. And I just hope he get it together, bro. I feel like a lot of these young men don't have no mentors, bro. It ain't no more handlers in the game, bro. It ain't nobody taking care of the camp. These guys out here on their own frequency, bro. And I just think there's no more leaders in the game, bro. They not going to where that real energy is that can really humble these guys a little bit. We only got a short period of time to be professional boxers. This shit is over quick, bro. And you don't ever want to live with no regrets.
Bernard Hopkins hopes Gervonta Davis will solve his legal issues and focus on his family, especially making things right with his children's mother. He advised Davis to stay positive, thinking boxing could help him rebuild his life.
Being here with the alien, Bernard Hopkins. Bernard, first of all, good to see you, my man.
Good to see you again. Yes,
good
sir.
To see you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's
my second home, brother.
I'm starting to say the same thing because I'm here almost
all the time. In and out. In and out.
Bernard, a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it real quick. Look, I'm sure you saw the news about Gervonta Davis being arrested once again. Just give me your thoughts.
Unfortunately, man, I hope he come out. You know what I mean? Everybody else come out. I'm not with the domestic violence thing, man, but I hope that he get that straightened out and he get back to focus on his family and his career. Family first and then career second. But I just wish both ex-girl, his mother, to get things together and look forward, be positive going forward.
Now, you think his head, is there right now with boxing? Do you think he just needs another mentor? What does he need? Because he's a great talent.
I don't know, and I don't know him that well.
Gervonta Davis wants to focus on personal goals outside boxing. He wants to be more stable and caring for his daughter and family, realizing his career often pulled him away from them, now seeking help to be more present.
What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gym. Checked out the press conference yesterday. Watched the Rise podcast. 2 days ago, watched the Rise podcast response to it yesterday. And I just have to say, I see a lot of people think that, Tank is bluffing with the retirement talk. Could be. I doubt it, though. And I'm going to tell you why I doubt it. When he talked about wanting to seek therapy and the person he has to be in order to be the fighter that he is, and wanting to be a softer person, for his daughters, and wanting to seek therapy and become a better person and be with his children and lead a limelight. It seemed like a lot of emotion and passion in that. He seemed like he really meant what he was saying. There's a lot that comes with not only boxing, because, all fighters deal with certain things with being a boxer, physically and mentally. But he has to deal with being a celebrity, an international star on top of that. And I can't even imagine that pressure. So, things get old, your whole life gets scrutinized. No matter what moves he makes, it's going to be accepted by some.
Tank Davis's retirement seems to be because of recent problems. Just before a big rematch, he got into legal trouble again. After being released, He said he was leaving boxing. Seems ready to find peace away from the ring.
You know, and the woman said that, hey, I looked at him and I asked him to help me, and he looked at me and he turned his head, jumped out of the car and ran, or whatever the case may be. So he has a history of doing things like this to women. Like facts. Whether you like it or not, whether you're a Tank Davis fan or not, you can't get around that. That's the truth. So now what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach fight? And better yet, you know, what's going to happen, will that fight still go on? I don't know. They haven't announced it, made an official announcement yet. We know the fight is scheduled for next month, August, but it hasn't officially been announced yet. And we do know if that fight is announced, PBC will have reporters there to tell those reporters, look, if you want to have access to Gervonta Tank Davis, you better not ask him certain questions. This is what goes on in the media. See, a lot of these guys, they want access to the fighters, so they have to play ball. They have to go along with the get along just so they can get access to interview the fighter. Coach Malachi, I don't give a fuck about the access. Fuck having access to the fighter. I only fuck with those who fuck with me. If you're a fighter who fuck with me, I'll fuck with you. And then, we can do an interview. That's fine. I have no problem with it because I got love for you like that, and vice versa. But if it's a fighter that don't like you or don't like me or whatever the case may be, I don't give a fuck. I don't try to fit in, in the square circles. If it's a square circle, you know what I mean? If it's a square and a circle, I don't try to fit in with squares. And if you ain't in the circle, I ain't trying to get in the circle. Do you get what I'm saying? So, of course, these reporters, that's what they're going to do. So now, as it relates to Lamont Roach, what does Lamont Roach do from here?
People understand Gervonta's situation, knowing how tough boxing is. Since he's been famous since he was young, he's carried a lot of pressure. Many agree that if his heart isn't in it, quitting is the smart thing to do for his well-being.
And, ridiculed by others. And some people grow tired of it. Living a public life ain't for everybody. He's been tremendously successful, whatever he decides to do. I wish him well. I think we need to, watch this Lamont Roach fight closely because we've seen this in the past when Mike Tyson talks about his heart no longer being in it. Or, you heard Buddy McGirt recently come out and say, the fire left him, while he was in camp in the middle of a run. I mean, it happens. And, we don't know how it's going to affect him as a fighter. I would hope, he could find it in himself to be motivated and get prepared, and be the best version of himself. Because, as a Tank fan, I don't want to see him in a ring in any other capacity. If he can't bring himself to be the best version of himself, then I think he should walk away. But regardless of what he decides to do for people like myself, I've had a great time, watching his career. I wish him the best in his personal life. He didn't say he's retiring immediately. He just said he's going to fight 3 times in 2025, and then it'll be over. Whoever those 3 fights he chooses to fight, we have to respect it. And I would just say, enjoy him while he's here. Because, everybody in sports, whether it's boxing or otherwise, is only going to be active for a certain amount of time. And once it's over, it's over. So instead of, Monday morning quarterbacking, ridiculing or criticizing, I think he's been a very special talent, and we need to enjoy him while he's here because the end may be really near, according to what he's saying. That's all I have for y'all right now. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Hey.
Boxing insiders believe this could be a major turning point for Davis. This break gives him a chance to think about his life and make changes to improve his well-being and future, finding stability away from all the chaos.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment being the father. So shout out for Tank Davis. That's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in an angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light, whereas we've been maybe in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness got us to success, right? So Tank Davis obviously became successful, put in the anger towards boxing, but now he's on this next level of life and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.
Davis has faced many legal issues over his career, often getting past them with money. But these repeated problems show unresolved personal issues. He's admitted he's exhausted by boxing, and after many setbacks, he feels quitting is the only way to find peace.
Alleged, and as I'm recording this, Tank has just gotten bonded out of jail, although the details of his bond have yet to come out. At this point, it seems like every couple years Tank has some sort of similar run-in with the law. His last major run-in came in December of 2022, where he was arrested for allegedly striking a woman with a closed hand type slap, although these charges were later dropped. But I'm not an expert on any of this, and I'm not really here to discuss details of a DV case. I'll let the courts do that. The question I think I can better speculate on is how this will impact his career. Now, his legal troubles in the past haven't done much to slow him down, so will this time be any different? To answer it in a single word, maybe. Now, Gervonta Davis is undeniably one of the biggest names in the sport, and because of the money he generates when he fights, really no matter what he does, it's hard for him not to find opportunities.
Even though he hinted 2025 would be his last year, many exciting fights, like a rematch, are now unlikely disappointing fans. At his press conference, Gervonta Davis showed up very late and alone. He announced 2025 would be his last year or so. He could get therapy. He feels he needs to leave boxing to be the best father to his kids, as therapy won't work otherwise.
Gervonta Davis had his press conference. I think he turned up 4 or 5 hours late. No Calvin Ford, his trainer. No Leonard Ellaby. He turned up by himself. And then he went on to say 2025 will be his last year in the sport. He wants to get therapy, and he feels like he can't get therapy unless he leaves the sport of boxing. He's got young kids, and he wants to be the best father he can for those kids. And if he continues fighting, then the therapy won't work. Kind of made sense to me.